When a company has to conclude their story, it can be very hard to wrap it up in a way that will satisfy everyone, and I know that a lot of people will disagree, but I think Jak 3 is a solid conclusion to the main storyline, while every game afterward would be a spin-off. This game was released in 2004, which I have to admit was a really interesting time for media. A lot of great games were released such as this, alongside Sly 2 and Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. Of course, there were some issues that upset fans, but first, the story, which I have to admit is the best part. So after the defeat of both Baron Praxis and the Metalhead leader, it turns out that Errol, now spelled with 2 R's for some reason, comes back from the dead as a cyborg, and now controls both the surviving Metalheads and the weaponized Crimson Guard robots. When an all-out war begins, the palace is destroyed and Jak is charged as a criminal, believing that his connection to the gangs was the cause of the disaster. From there, he is banished to the Wasteland by Count Veigar, also voiced by Phil Lamar. Jak wanders the Wasteland alongside Daxter and Pecker until they are found by a group of Wastelanders led by Damus, who is the king of a city called Spargus. From there, Jak and Daxter have to earn the respect of the Wastelanders and ultimately return to Haven City. Of course, a huge story unfolds about the end of the world when corrupt precursors who are mutated by Dark Eco plan to destroy the planet. I will start by saying that the game really has a lot going for it, and very few things feel out of place. You get to ride leaper lizards which control like the Flut, and there are also 8 wasteland vehicles that you get to drive throughout the desert. To be fair, the gameplay is a little clunky. Your vehicle will often roll over or get stuck against a wall, and you're constantly attacked by desert marauders, so I'll just put the whole experience in the okay category. Your weapons now have upgrades, making a total of 12 different weapons, which is really awesome. Dark Jak is easier to control, but now you also have Light Jak once he's given light eco powers by the Oracle, which include the ability to regenerate health, slow down time, and even fly short distances. Daxter is also playable for a few short sequences, which easily makes up for his lack of gameplay in Jak 2. However, there are a few gameplay choices that didn't fit too well, such as these odd shooting minigames and button press challenges. The rest is pretty much like Jak 2, where you roam around the map and do missions for people and stuff, but this time it feels more connected to the overall story, whereas Jak 2 had those missions, but most of them just felt like odd jobs. Getting to characters, they're great. The memorable characters from Jak 2 make returns, along with some new faces such as the aforementioned Damus, along with the precursor monk named Seam, voiced by Tara Strong, and the grisly car dealer named Cleaver, voiced by Brian Bloom. Jak receives good character development, but Kira, also now voiced by Tara Strong, is insultingly sidelined in favor of Ashlyn being Jak's love interest, which seems like a random decision since this was never really hinted at before. Another small issue I have is that I feel like we didn't spend enough time in Spargus. While the city is very small, I really enjoyed how that world was set up, but then we just returned to Haven City about 1/3 into the game, and things just really slow down in terms of pace. That's not to say it doesn't pick up, it just sort of changes. While the overall game had its challenging moments, I never found it as frustrating or unfair as Jak 2, probably because the unlockables are given out more fairly. You get upgrades to health and unlockable weapon upgrades, but some upgrades are only unlocked through secrets, so everything is more fair this time around. I would go as far as calling Jak 3 the best in the series, but that's just me, and I know it still holds a special place in history. If you still haven't played it, I would recommend either the PS2 or PS3 Remastered Edition, since it includes all 3 games. So check it out if you haven't already.
The candidates have won the challenge.
That's right, we bad. You haven't forgotten what I taught you, Jak.
Anyone can make a few measly jumps. Now let's see how you rate against the living. Readjust the matterformers. Prepare the arena for full combat.
Prepare the arena for full combat.
I just said that.
I know, I was just adding, you know, how you do the thing with the... Anyway, prepare the warriors.
You mean we have to fight against actual people? With actual weapons? Who actually want to hurt us?
Fine, bring them on.
All right, that's it. I want to be on his shoulder.